Perfect Talk is what it do. It's your guy, DJ Playboy, back here with another episode of the Perfect Talk podcast. And this episode is going down, man. First up, we got to talk about the Soccer Federation president finally stepping down after weeks of people saying, yo, you can't just be kissing up on the girl right there on the podium, dog. Also, we got to talk about your guy, Aaron Rodgers. 4 plays in for the Jets, catches the ill Achilles injury, man. Thoughts and prayers. Also, Ashton Kutcher Mila Kunis done got themselves caught up in some drama that they didn't even have to be in. I got to tell y'all all about that. And also, the 13-day manhunt that had all of the media captivated has finally come to an end. They got him. I got all of that, plus fashion designer Laraya in the building to talk about her new line, new fashion show, and much, much more. Perfect Talk, baby.
DJ Playboy.
Perfect Talk is what it do. It's your guy, DJ Playboy, back with another episode of the Perfect Talk podcast. We are in the building, rocking solo dolo for y'all. And we gonna get right into it, man. Y'all know I always got stuff going on in my life, but we don't even need to talk about it. I don't care about none of that right now. I want to get right to the nitty gritty. You know what I'm saying? The topics, the things I told y'all I came here to talk about. Plicker's Spotlight Story. You know how it goes down. We like to focus on one story that might not have gotten the most media attention in the week, but something that I feel like I gotta shine a little bit of light on. And this one was a big one, man. Luis Rubiales, if you don't know who that is, he's the Spanish Soccer Federation president. And he has decided to step down after weeks of people requesting for him to do that. What did Luis Rubiales do? If you don't know, you could go back and check a few episodes back, but I showed y'all. Spanish women's soccer team won the World Cup this year. He decided that he was going to plant a kiss on one of his players, Jennifer Hermoso. And he was like, oh, it was consensual. She was cool with it. She was immediately said, I wasn't cool with that. I didn't like that. I wasn't a fan of that. And then, eventually even asked him to step down from that position and be removed from it. And he fought it for weeks, man. He got fierce criticism. He got 23 players on this women's soccer team that won the World Cup, and then 50 other players that could potentially come to replace those girls if they decided to leave. They said that they will not play for the team until Rubiales is removed. So the pressure came through. And finally, Rubiales knew that it could go on no further. It's time for him to go. What I want to really speak about is what made you think that was cool, bro? Like, that you'd be able to stick around this long, that you'd be able to fight this. What you thought the heat was going to go away, the publicity. You ain't no Perfect Talk was going to focus on it and talk about it over here. You know what I mean? But what was really on your biscuit? That's we got to stop this in the culture. You know what I mean? This is the same team. I come to find out in my research on doing this, where the manager, he was recently removed from his position because he inappropriately touched one of the staffers, a female staffer. And it was just wild. Like, bro, come on. Like, that's, you touched your chest, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know there's certain areas on a woman that you just stay away from. So for him to even try to play that off like that was cool, that was nothing, is wild. And you know what I mean? So the heat came to him, and then eventually Luis Rubiales knew it was gonna come to him eventually. So he knew it was time to go. It was time to step down from that position. And fellas out there, you know what I mean? Like, people make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. We can only learn from the mistakes that we make and from the mistakes of others. But that culture of thinking that you can do whatever you want around the female is, you got to get rid of that, because it's gonna come to catch up with you eventually. You know what I'm saying? And you are in a position of power. Don't abuse that power. You know what I'm saying? What happened to keeping it G? What happened to having, play your skills? What happened to knowing how to talk to a young lady or something like that? But this grabbing up and doing whatever you want to do, that ain't gonna fly. You know what I'm saying? So it's 2023. You know what I mean? If this was years ago, not that it excuses it, but at least we could be like, the culture was different, the climate was different. But this is 2023 and you doing this type of nonsense. So yeah, Luis Rubiales, you looking like a clown right now, and it's about time that you step down. Jorge Vila, the manager that inappropriately touched one of his players, you a clown as well. And you got to both step down. So I had to shine my spotlight on that situation over there. And hopefully, Spain could get the little bit better culture within their women's soccer team. Because, one, if it's happening in Spain, it's not the only place in the world it's happening. And two, as a father of a young lady, you don't want to even know that culture exists, but and know that it's something that it is out there, and that's something that I do have to prepare her for. But we got to end that. We got to bring that to an end, fellas. And right now, we're going to switch it up. to one of my favorite segments. It's called Respect on My Name.
My name come up, respect. Yeah.
Let's go.
Stop playing with my name.
And if you don't know, that's when I tell y'all if I got respect. A speculation for just something that happened in the news this week. And this one caught my eye, man. This was a serious situation. Mila Kunis, Ashton Kutcher got themselves in some hot water. They had to respond to backlash. Basically, I'll give y'all the backstory. You know, they all were on a show called That 70s Show with Danny Masterson, Topher Grace, Vilda Varamera. I might be pronouncing that wrong, but you know what I mean? The young stars, they was out there. Fast forward, Danny Masterson has been accused of rape and, you know, went to trial. First trial was, I think, a hung jury. Second trial, he's convicted. 30 years, 30 to life for raping 2 women. 2 out of the 3 counts that he was facing. Now, Danny Masterson's obviously a wild boy because, you know, throughout the course of this trial, you've seen that they used intimidation tactics through the Church of Scientology to threaten some of the young ladies that were making these accusations against Masterson. And just, the whole thing is just disgusting because, like, they actually, all of the accusers met Masterson through the Church of Scientology. So it's a real weird situation when it all comes out to play. But we'll fast forward. You got Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, after he's been sentenced, get contacted by Masterson's family, you know, say, yo, you know, that's the homie, you know what I mean, before he got in trouble. Could y'all just, you know, write a letter, you know what I mean, maybe asking for just, you know, a lighter sentence. You know, I'm not necessarily saying that he should get off or that he didn't do this or nothing like that, but basically saying, you know, what you know about his character and how can, and maybe you can do something that can help, you know what I mean, reduce his sentence somewhat. So they wrote these letters, Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher, and it seems like they did not know that these letters were going to come to light eventually, you know. Now, the letters were obtained by Tony Ortega, and I believe he released it on, you know, like one of his websites or his blog. Like I said, I don't think Mila Kunis or Ashton Kutcher thought that these tapes would ever see the light, these letters would ever see the light of day. It's something that I'm noticing now just within the legal system. You see it with Tory Lanez's phone call the next day after the, you know, the Megan Thee Stallion shooting, and that gets released. You see it with rappers that have done jail stints where you just see footage of what they've done inside the jails. You start realizing that this stuff isn't as private as you might have originally thought they were, and you see another case of it now with these letters being released. So before Masterson was sentenced to 30 years to life, you know, they just showed some love to their homie, which I think most people would do, you know what I mean? Like, yo, this isn't the person I know. We knew another side of him. It gets a little messy once you really get in the minutia of it, because they start speaking about how Masterson is an advocate for anti-drug, you know what I'm saying? Like, he helped them not get caught up in drugs. He's a very huge advocate of staying off of drugs. But you know, that's a weird contrast, because some of the charges, he is being alleged of drugging the women. So it's like, you can't play he's the anti-drug advocate, and then also he's just been convicted of drugging women and raping them. So Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, knowing, you know, the heat's on now, people know, you know, they dropped the video and they said, I'll play it for y'all.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years, so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read, and not to undermine the testimony of the victims or reach homicize them in any way. We would never want to do that. And we're sorry if that has taken place.
Our heart goes out to every single person who's ever been a victim of sexual assault, sexual abuse, or rape.
And the video is a little weird to watch, you know what I'm saying? It's obviously scripted. One thing I noticed is Ashton is definitely a little bit more energetic. He's a little bit more lively. in a sense where it comes across a little bit more natural, where it sounds like Mila is reading off a teleprompter. Not great, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh man, this is Meg from Family Guy. This is, you know what I'm saying, Shorty from that 70s show, you know what I mean? Like, how can you not be able to portray this in a better way that doesn't come off so robotic, doesn't come off like a hostage tape? Because, you know, it's obviously something they don't want to do. They didn't think that they would have to deal with this. It looks weird. I believe that Ashton and Mila are both advocates, anti-sex abuse for kids and things of that nature, anti-child sex abuse organizations. But Ashton actually, after all this has happened, has stepped down from his position at Thorn and is no longer connected to the organization at all. And it just goes to show you, man, the company you keep, the friends you have, it can, you know, come back to haunt you. Like, and also you got to know, like, hey, yo, this might, you know, that is the homie, and that is, I don't know, you know what, like, I'm not gonna lie, I think it's real easy to point a finger at them, but I feel like most people out there would do what Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis did in this situation, right? Like, if your homie needed a letter, you know he's going to jail, you know he about to be away, and if there's something you could do to maybe lighten that load, because you don't look at him as the criminal that the rest of the world sees him as. You remember your friend. I think most people in the same position would do it. Maybe I'm wrong in that, but I think most people would do the same thing that they do. And most people wouldn't have to worry about it ever seeing the light of day or ever coming out. But unfortunately, you know, once you're a celebrity, people are going to care. And it makes it real easy to paint Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis like, oh, now you guys don't care about victims. Now you guys don't give a F about what happened to these accusers, you know what I'm saying? As hard as it is to get a rape conviction, now you're trying to lighten the load a bit. You bring it up that he's not going to be around his daughter for these years, for this long amount of time, and what effect that could have on her. But what about the effects that it has on the people that were his victims? You know what I mean? Like, so it's really easy to point a finger from this standpoint. But I always, like I said, I think most people would do the same thing. Now, what makes it a little bit also messier is Chrissy Bixler. Is a former, she was actually one of the accusers of Danny Masterson. I don't believe that her count of rape was one that he was convicted for. I believe she still dated him after the situation that happened. She's come out and dropped, you know, a couple things in her stories. I'll read it to you. But basically saying, "Dear Ashton, I know the secrets your role model keeps for you, ones that would end you. Did you forget I was there? You were on speakerphone that night you called Danny on February 21st, 2001. I heard everything. I heard the plan. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor." So we'll get right back to that date, February 21st, 2001 in a second, but I'll read you what she wrote to Mila. "Dear Mila, I pray you begin to process what you experienced as a child on that set. Your old interviews are very telling. I encourage everyone to watch them and decide for yourself what you hear and see. Do so before they get scrubbed from the internet. I also know what happened in Toronto and after. Question, if that's what you view as a normal relationship with a big brother figure, then I feel very sad for you, and I hope you consider getting into therapy. You all forget I was there the whole time. The first 5 years of that 70s show, I remember everything." It's messy. Because if you go back to that date that she dropped on Ashton, you know what I mean, very cryptically, February 21st, 2001, you're like, oh, okay, what is that? You find out. Ashley Ellerin was a 22-year-old fashion student. She died on that date. Now, why is that important? Because Ashton Kutcher was actually showing up to her house before, actually, I guess after she was killed. The headline I'm seeing right now says, "The chilling details of the murder of Ashley Ellerin and the Hollywood Ripper trial. In February 2001, Ashton Kutcher arrived to pick Ellerin up for a date, but she didn't answer the door because she had already been stabbed to death by accused serial killer Michael Garguglio." So we don't know exactly what she is alleging there. Like she said, she kept it real cryptic, but it is a little fishy that she's now going back to that date, you know what I'm saying, bringing it up. Like, yo, I got dirt on you, doggy. So, you know what I mean? We got to see what comes out. And, you know, anybody who knows anything about the Church of Scientology, even in this trial, it came out that they use scare tactics to intimidate some of the women involved in this case. You know what I mean? So, even in the Ashley Ellerin thing, I'm reading here, there was an article where they said the next day, next day when he had learned Ellerin had been murdered, he reached out to police. He said he was worried because he put his hands on her doorknob while trying to open the front door. My fingerprints are on this door, and I was freaking out. He said, I told an officer, let me tell you what happened. That's going down the conspiracy hole, you know what I'm saying? That I can't speak on that, you know what I mean? And we're going to have to see if Chrissy Bixler decides that she wants to come out and say what exactly she happened that day and what she knows. But just everything else, I mean, outside of that, just you feel, part of you could probably feel bad for Mila and Ashton, but part of you also has to feel bad for those victims because, you know what I mean, you got a high profile celebrity defending someone who did something to them. It could make them feel hurt. But I also, like I said, think that they did not think that these letters would ever see the light of day, and thought that they could just button this up and kind of it'll go away, and it's now having this backlash because they look like they trying to take the whole cast down. You know who's somewhere smiling about this? Your man Topher Grace. I believe his name was Eric on the show. Yeah, because you know what I'm saying? Like Topher, they ain't had no love for Topher on the show. They like the whole crew was clicked up and they ain't let Topher be down. They ain't kicking with him. And somewhere he's smiling like, I told y'all. I told y'all. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens with that, man. Let's go move right on to my next segment. One of my favorite ones. It's called Have You Heard? So I'll take a couple major headlines this week and just put y'all up on game, see if y'all heard. And this week, it was a doozy, man. Aaron Rodgers, Monday Night Football. I was hyped. Football's back. You know what I mean? I was watching it the day before. You know what I mean? The Sunday games was had me hyped up. I was ready to go see what's about to happen. How's it gonna go down? All right, you know, Buffalo Bills versus the Jets. I don't watch Hard Knocks. I don't see all the nonsense. You know what I mean? It's time to put up a shut up. Aaron Rodgers, watching preseason a couple plays. Let's do it. Man, I ain't even get the game on but before this man was injured. I seen the headline, you know what I'm saying? But then I saw the replays and all that. But it was 4 plays in, man. Like, your man Aaron Rodgers catches the wicked Achilles tendon injury. And it's as a person who caught one of those back in high school, in my high school football days, I mean, nothing as bad as what he caught, but it's real. You know what I mean? It's nothing that you could just brush off and move on from. It takes about a year of recovery. It takes a lot of rehab, and a lot of people don't come back the same. I remember even during the game, Adam Schefter said, we're hoping it's not an Achilles, you know what I mean? Looking at the way it happened, it could maybe be something high ankle or higher than that. But based on the way that the calf moves, a lot of people think it might be an Achilles tear. And it was, you know what I mean? It's you seen Leonard Floyd come on the replay, you know what I mean? You seen Leonard Floyd hit him. And nothing was dirty about the play. Everything was right, you just fall funny, you know what I mean? He's also 39 years old, you know what I mean? It's not the easiest thing to just bounce back from an injury like this at his age. Something that Aaron brought up was Kobe experienced this later in his career, and that's the first thing that he did was look at what Kobe did to bounce back from this injury. Had high hopes for the AFC, man. Thought like, all right, Bills and Jets. I root for all the New York teams, if you don't know, and I was like, okay, it's gonna be rough this time because usually the Jets suck and it's easy to just root for the Bills, you know what I mean? Or in years past, you know, when the Jets stepped it up a little bit, the Bills was whack. But I'm like, all right, they both Aaron Rodgers and you got your man Josh Allen over there. I was like, all right, cool. It might be a little something this year. Grand opening, grand closing. But we do wish Aaron Rodgers all the best, man. Some people are speculating he might not be back, but that's not the man to doubt because he's proven time and time again that he will shut up the doubters. He said he welcomed it. He said, give me your doubt, give me all of that, just so I can prove it wrong because I need it for inspiration, baby. So we're going to see what happens with Aaron Rodgers, and thoughts and prayers out to him because, you know what I mean, I would like for his career to end in a different way. I wouldn't want to see him going out like that. Have you heard the 13-day manhunt for convicted killer Danilo Cavalcante has come to an end. They found your man in Pennsylvania. They were looking for him for quite a while. Found him with heat sensing technology, and them dogs. They put them dogs on him. They sniffed him out and they got him, man. But this was an interesting story, man. From the rooter to the tutor, man. Like, if you don't know, he was convicted. He was on life sentence for killing his former girlfriend. Her name was Deborah Brandeo. Looks like he also had a case back in Brazil. Brazilian authorities issued a warrant for his arrest in 2017 and a shooting death of a student named Valdir Jr. Moreira de Reis. It's wild, though, like I said. So that was why he was in jail. And just from everything, from the way he got out of the prison, was just wild. They called it crab walking in the media, but I saw that was like an improper term. That wasn't really what it's called. But basically, he shimmied up a wall using his legs, his feet on one wall and his hands on the other, and was able to chimney, whatever they call it, his way up to the roof. Went through barbed wire and razor wire, and then made it out, and was surviving out there off of watermelons. Was burying his shit so nobody could find it. You know what I mean? Just my man was out there going ham. You know what I mean? It looked like he stole a van at some point. He stole a gun. He had stolen clothes, a duffel bag. He was out there surviving, like he was doing it. But I mean, eventually that it's gonna come to an end. But he was on it, man. He definitely had authorities going through it, using all their resources. It looks like he got the delivery van because the keys were left in the ignition. He changed his appearance completely. He doesn't look anything like the mugshot that they had seen. Like I said, he stole a rifle at some point, which made the manhunt a little bit more dangerous because now he's armed and dangerous, you know what I mean? And they knew that. He was also showing up on, I guess, anybody out there doing crimes nowadays, you are on so many cameras. Like, they got so much just ring camera footage of him walking by and this and that. Like, you are on so many cameras that it is insane to even try to get away with anything nowadays. But they used the resources and they caught up with your guy. Yeah, they are definitely gonna throw the book at him. You know what I'm saying? If we're making them use all these resources. I mean, it also could have went left. Some of these end with people being killed in the process of taking him out or taking him down, or he could have killed himself. So I guess it's good that it went down with no casualties. I don't believe any innocent bystanders or people got caught up that I've heard of. So yeah, they like they said, they got him. They got him, man. It was a 13-day manhunt, and it captivated America, and it came to an end. So Danilo Cavalcante, you know what I mean? They probably gonna have you in the super maximum now, bro. You know what I mean? Just because you just showed them how easy it is for you to do what you do. But definitely, yeah, they gonna tighten things up around there, 100%. And you can see it. Just you can see how much it angered them that they had to use all these resources and shit to get at him. But it's even funny though when they did catch him, how many selfies they taken and high fiving. You know what I mean? They was proud of themselves for catching them. You know what I'm saying? So Danilo Cavalcante, man, I'm sure there'll be a movie or something about him. It was a story. Now, right now, my friends, we're going to take it to another segment we do here on Perfect Talk. This one is called Perfect Talk Product Talk. And if you don't know, I'm going to be talking to fashion designer Laraya. Yeah, she be doing some dope stuff with like crochet fashions and all that. And she has a fashion show coming up. So we're going to talk about all that. So make sure you stay tuned. It's the Perfect Talk Podcast, baby. Let's get it. What's good, y'all? We are back here with one of my favorite segments, man. This is when I talk to, small business owners, people who might have a podcast, might have, a YouTube channel, might even have a fashion line like today's guest, man. This is Perfect Talk, Product Talk, and we are up in the building with Laraya. What's going on?
Peace, beautiful people. Thank you for having me back. Good to see you again.
Friend of the show, definitely been here before. Go check out her episode. And back to talk to us a little bit more. Show us a couple more pieces, a couple more looks. But first off, tell the people why you're here. You got a fashion show coming up, right?
I do. So I do have a fashion show. In my last episode, I was more so talking about the jewelry and things that I make, but this time it's all about the crochet, baby.
Okay.
So I do have a fashion show coming up where I'm making 5 brand new crochet outfits for 5 fantastic models. It's a brand new line actually that I'm coming up with, brand new inspiration, and I'm doing something for men and women. So
Sweet. I
pretty
think we
excited.
touched on the crochet lightly on the last one, but yeah, definitely heavier lean on the jewelry and some of the other products that you offer. But the fashion shows, I'm guessing, give you the opportunity to show off your crochet work. And if they don't know, you design clothing for men and women. Was it always men and women's, or was it specifically women as men's?
Started off as women's.
It started
It
off as
started
women's.
off
Okay.
definitely as women's. I mean, being a woman and making things for myself first, it's obviously easier to dive into women's things. But now that I have my partner here, my fiance, he's always pushing me into making something for men because he's like, I want dope things too. So
Yeah. I feel that
definitely
1,000%.
inspiration.
I feel that
Yeah.
1,000%.
So
If you want to sell something, put it on DJ Playboy. You know what I mean?
right.
I can help you get it out there. But so now you're getting into the men's line, and so what would you make originally, and what are you doing now that you're doing men's clothes? So like, what kind of pieces would you make in terms of clothes? Like, I think you may have showed me a hat before, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. So bucket hats have been taken off a lot more in my crochet designs. And then now I'm just kind of working more into clothing. So my new line is actually my version of the poncho. You know, that the modern poncho, the big, spacious, nice and flowy, just a big old piece of fabric kind of wrapped around yourself with a hood. So
Great for
I'm
fall or
basically
spring, you know what I mean? And where we're going into,
right.
so.
Exactly. Even though I'm in Arizona and it's still 100 degrees, we're still slowly sliding into our fall season. So I figured I'd go ahead and introduce the fall line.
Okay.
But again, because it's Arizona, I'm trying to keep things nice and light. So my designs are actually full mesh. So it's nice and breathable, nice and flowy. And also it has that kind of a urban feel, so sort of like a streetwear sort of a thing. So I'm kind of marrying a old school design for the most part with kind of a modern sort of a fashion take with kind of bridging the streetwear with the poncho.
That's sweet.
Want to
That's
see it?
sweet. Yeah, I definitely do. And then we'll tell them about the fashion show and when it is, and then we'll definitely plug it again later. But before you show us the pieces, let them know where they could see this up live in person.
So this line that I'm about to show you, pieces from the line that I'm about to show you, definitely going to be on the runway for this upcoming fashion show, September 23rd, right here in downtown Phoenix at the Greenwood Brewery. It's being thrown by a wonderful sister, Shell. We're calling it the Chill X Shell because come out and chill, get some good fashion, enjoy some dope vendors, some good food. They're having performances. It's a vibe. It's definitely a whole vibe.
Okay.
I came across them accidentally, just on Instagram, and I decided to pop out to their show last month that they had and just kind of see what the vibe was. And I loved it so much that I was like, I need to be a part of this.
How
So,
important is that as a small business owner, especially as a fashion designer, to network, to really take advantage of those opportunities, like to get your stuff out there? Because you could have just been a spectator and let that opportunity pass, and now you're in the next show. You know what I mean?
right.
So that's dope. But can you
It's
speak on that?
super
Just how
important.
networking has helped you grow at all?
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, especially with a business like mine, a product-based business where, I'm not a Macy's, I'm not an Neiman Marcus, you know what I mean? Like nobody really knows me. I'm still growing my business. So the best way to grow is to go and talk to people, word of mouth. That's the best way to spread it. And you don't know what I do until I show up and show you. So
Yeah.
obviously I showed up completely dripped out in all of my creations in a full crochet outfit and all my jewelry. And was like, this is what I do. This is what I bring to the table. And that's the best way to get your foot in the door. Show them what you can do.
You did it up live and in person, like face to face, which a lot of people don't do anymore. But even now, you don't have to be face to face with somebody. You could do it online, right? You could hop in the DMs and let them know exactly, hey, I'll do this. It looks like it'd be a nice match. You know what I'm saying? Even I got a podcast, you got a fashion line. Why not link up and, you know what I mean, have a conversation together at least, you know what I mean? So
Exactly.
it's really about getting it out there. But yeah, let's show us something. I think the people are ready to see what you got.
Okay, so first I'm going to show you the women's version of the men's outfit. So one second.
Show us what you got. Okay.
So it's literally just sleeves with a hood.
Okay.
I know it's blurred out here. And then it's got a matching bandeau and matching shorts. Very sexy, very cute sort of a fit, nice and tie up little feature there.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing for the ladies. This outfit in particular was featured in my very first fashion show that I did actually back in July. This is what got me kind of into the fashion show buzz and got me more into my designer hat, if you will.
Well, so explain that to me, because I have heard designers say that in the past. So what changed now that you're doing fashion shows as opposed to what you were doing before? Like, does it change the way you design things? Does it change the type of products you make? What exactly changed?
Yeah, honestly, both of those things. It definitely changed the type of product where I'm kind of challenging myself to see what I can do, looking for some different inspiration. My favorite thing to do is a recreation. So like
Mhm.
I'll look at a picture of something and then just interpret it in my own way.
Okay.
That's a big way that I do jewelry, and of course that's taken its precedent really with my crochet work.
Okay.
So there's a whole line of shirts that I saw a picture of, and I was like, how can I do that in crochet? And figured it out. And now it's a pattern. Now it's a product that you can find on my website.
Tell them the
So a
website.
lot of
Tell them the website too while we talking about it.
well, www.bylaraya.com. That's BYLARAYA.com.
See it right there on your screen if you're watching on the YouTube, and definitely go check it out. You know what I'm saying? Go if you haven't already. And if you're in the Phoenix area, like go to Arizona. Where exactly is it going to be? I don't want to say the wrong city. Where's exactly going to be?
Yeah, no, you're right. Phoenix, Arizona, right?
Yeah,
Downtown Phoenix.
if you're in the downtown Phoenix area, definitely on the 23rd, go check them out. But yeah, show us what else we can see on the 23rd.
Okay, so the men's. I'm gonna pull this up.
Okay.
I might have to put it on. So
Okay. So okay, and it just throws on. Oh, okay.
yeah,
I like that.
just throw that on.
Yeah.
It's got the nice spacious hood.
So that's what you were saying was the take on the
nice
poncho.
and long in the body.
Yeah,
exactly. It's a poncho sort of a deal there.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's simple.
You know
You know what I'm saying?
what I mean?
So,
And then that's nice and breathable for the Arizona weather. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
I like
Exactly. Nice and breathable, nice and spacious. You know, and especially because it's yarn. A lot of times when you look at yarn, you're thinking thick sweaters, you're thinking winter. So I'm also trying to kind of help, just with all the other crochet artists out here, trying to help change the game a little bit, change folks' mind about what crochet can be.
that.
It's not just your granny's hobby anymore.
That's true.
I
I would have stereotyped it and pigeonholed it to be that. You know what I'm saying? And that's dope that you're definitely changing what the perception of that could be. Those are the only pieces that you had to show us today, right? So far, it's like anything else they want to see, they got to come to the show, right?
I mean, actually, yeah.
Wait, if you got one more, it looked like you had one more in the stash.
All right, I got one more.
You got one more for him? Okay, one more. Give the Perfect Talk audience one more. You know what I mean?
All right. So this one is one of my pride and joy pieces. Here, I'll give y'all the full effect and slip it on real quick.
Okay. What you got going on? I like the colors. Okay.
This is a design that I actually originally started doing last year in the wintertime, in the fall and winter season. This is the inspiration behind that women's piece.
Okay.
It's just sleeves.
Just sleeves. Okay, with a neck. Okay. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
dope though.
Sleeves and a collar.
Yeah.
So something very cute and simple that you can throw on over a bandeau, like I'm wearing here, with some cute jeans, cute shorts. You can throw it on over a dress. It's just kind of one of those anywhere and everywhere type of accessories that you can definitely add into your closet. So this is another line that I'm going to go ahead and bring back, part of my kind of fall line, since the weather is starting to cool off a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Y'all winters mid-80s out there. You know what I'm saying? I need to get some of that in my life, man. I'm tired of these New York winters, man. But can we play a quick game of let's get to know Laraya?
Yes, let's do it. Let me slip this off.
Let's do that. Let's do it. Yeah, it look like that 90-degree weather catching up with you.
Right. Exactly. You see me shining over here.
Yeah. Nah, but definitely. So as a designer, what would be your like end goal for like the fashion game? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because we see a lot of recreation, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Because like I like what you said. You said you see something and you get inspired by it. But what is gonna be your stamp that you leave, or what is gonna be the fingerprint that you leave on the fashion game when it's all said and done?
Honestly, my main goal really is just to get my name out there. Like right now, my focus has been styling folks. Since I'm doing more with crochet clothes, and I'm trying to get those out there and doing more with styling people. So I actually recently had an opportunity to style a artist, a dope MC, Viva Lassie. She
Okay.
came out here for the Afro Reggae Fest recently, and I had an opportunity to style her for the Afro Reggae Fest and dressed her in one of my crochet fits. So right now, I'm feeling celebrity stylist is maybe the
The next
overall
place
end goal.
is where you want
Yeah,
to go with
like
this. Okay.
yeah, I think that would be a cool thing, and it doesn't have to be super big. Obviously, I would love to design something for Beyonce. Let's talk,
Mhm.
sis.
You
But
got to put it out there.
you
You
don't
got to
have
put
to
it
be
out there.
right, exactly. But that I think is probably the overall goal, especially because I make so many things. Like it's not just the crochet clothes; it's also the jewelry, it's the handbags, it's all of the accessories. So
Mm.
I can put together a head to toe look. The only thing that I'm not making yet is shoes. Wait on it.
Yeah, you
But
said what? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's getting, you know what I mean? But that's dope. You could be a totally custom look. Because the thing I hate,
exactly,
right? I hate when I walk into a store or I go into a party and I see somebody wearing a shirt I got. I'm like, now I got to think twice. You know what I mean? I don't be twinning it.
exactly.
I don't like looking like the next person. And that's something that bothers me about the fashion game is a lot of people just copycatting in the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Not
Right.
like I
Cookie
got
cutter.
inspired by that. They want the exact look. They're
Yeah.
going for like trying to look like somebody. So I love when I see creativity. I love when I see, you know what I'm saying, what you're bringing to the table.
Mhm.
Personality wise, right? Are you the type of person, if you see a crime, do you New York City it and keep it moving? Or, or are you a little bit more small town, you know what I'm saying, good Samaritan, you know what I mean, to get involved?
I mean, my favorite thing to say is I don't want to be a witness to nothing.
Mm. Sound a little New York City to me.
Yeah, no. So, but I'm definitely gonna read all the news stories and watch all the documentaries and whatnot after the fact because I'm also a nosy something. So I want to know the stuff, but I don't want to be no witness.
I'm the same type of way. If it comes down to I'm the only help around, yeah, then I'm gonna get involved. But if
Right.
there's other people that
I
get,
feel
I mean, yeah, it ain't gotta be
yeah.
me.
Right.
How about but what about this? Let's see. What if you see, right? You have a friend and you
Mm.
that friend, their boyfriend or girlfriend, significant other, you see them cheating on them. Are you the type to go and tell your friend, or is your name Bennett? You ain't in it.
Oh no, I'm a whistleblower. I'm definitely it's funny, like I've actually been in that situation where I was on a dating when I was single, obviously.
Uh-huh.
I was on a dating app and I came across a friend's boyfriend on that dating app. I was like, sis, this is what I just found. You might want to have a conversation with your man, and
Yeah.
like I didn't make it a whole big thing. I didn't take it to social media. I took it to her personally, here's the situation, sis, and
Mhm.
you handle it accordingly.
That's
So
dope.
yeah,
That's dope. It's
so
always a
I don't
risk
mean to say
though, getting
whistleblower
involved.
like I'm a snitch, but also like sometimes you got to say something.
Yeah, see something, say something, right?
Exactly.
I get a little trepidation getting involved because sometimes the person get mad at you for telling them. They get mad at the
Right.
whistleblower. I'm like, come on, now take that up with you know what I mean, your significant other, and then you could lose a friend over something. So that one's a tricky one for me. I don't know. Depends on closest friends. I gotta say something. You know what I mean? I gotta take the risk. But
I mean, I feel like
associates, you got to find that out on your own, man. You know what I mean? Like I ain't trying to really
that's
rock
fair.
every boat. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. If I don't if I'm not that connected with you and it doesn't really affect me one way or another, then it's like, that sucks. Sis. Figure that out.
Favorite musicians? You got any like favorite musical acts?
I am really into neo soul. My style is really eclectic. I like a
Mhm.
lot of everything. As long as it's got a good beat and some kind of substance, then I can rock with it. But I'm also a mood music type of a person.
Okay.
Like if I'm getting ready for a vending show or something, it's trap music all day because you got to manifest that money. You know what I mean?
I hear
So,
that. I hear that.
but
What?
if I'm chilling, just trying to get some inspiration, just trying to be low key and create, it's some neo soul, some old school something. Luther Vandross is, that's my heart. Prince,
Mhm.
I love to, hit them octaves or think that I'm hitting them octaves.
You got any favorite fashion designers out there or people that inspired you?
I have a lot, like probably some that are unknown. Like I have what I call my crochet crushes,
Okay.
which are just other crochet artists who just inspire me to get in my bag every time and like really try and crank out something fantastic.
Because of how
So
dope they are and what they bring to the game.
Exactly. It's like the things that I see them doing with yarn. It's like, oh man, let me try that. Let me see if I can level up and get the shine that they're getting off of something like this. So one of my favorite crochet crushes, Celeste from Celestial Crow Creations on IG. She's dope. I don't even remember where she's located. I think she's in Atlanta or something, but dope crochet artist, and definitely my big crochet crush.
And before we get up out of here, let's give me 2 truths and a lie. That's where you would tell me 3 things about yourself, but 2 of them are true, 1 of them's a lie, and I gotta guess which one's a lie.
Okay. I've been crocheting since I was 10.
That's 1.
Let's see. I've been making jewelry since I was 10.
A lot of thinking on that one. That one might be the lie. A lot of thinking on that one. We got 2.
All right. Throwing me curveballs here. Let's see. I've never been swimming.
Okay. And the rules, I get to ask a question about each one.
Okay.
So what was the first piece of jewelry you made?
It was a beaded necklace.
Beaded necklace.
Mm-hmm.
You saying you never ever in life like been in a body of water? Or you saying you can't swim?
I've never been swimming.
Okay. Okay. And the first one was crocheting at 10.
Yes.
What was the color of the first thing you crocheted?
Red.
I'ma say out of those 3 facts, the second one I believe is not true, because I think based off our previous interview, you told me when you started doing jewelry. I could be wrong. I could be messing it up.
Good man. Yeah, no, good memory.
There we go.
I mean, I guess
go.
everybody's made a macaroni necklace in school or whatever, but that doesn't really count as jewelry.
more than I've done, man. But before we get up out of here, it's Perfect Talk Product Talk. Let the people know the fashion show one more time, and then let them know that website where they can get that dope product at.
Yes, indeed. So I have the Chill X Chell fashion show coming up September 23rd from 7 to 11 right here in downtown Phoenix at the Greenwood Brewery. Dope location, gonna be a good spot. And if you can't make it to the fashion show and you want to see my new crochet clothes, my new line, or any of my creations, feel free to check it out at www.bylaraya.com.
Right there, right below us. Go check that out. Go show Laraya some love. Laraya, thank you so much for coming on here. If there's anything I can do for you to help you push anything you got going on, come through, let me know, and we could definitely chop it up once again.
I'm gonna hit you with some measurements. I'm gonna hit you for some measurements so I can maybe get one of these ponchos on you.
Oh, double XL. Hit me with the double XL. You know what I'm saying? The hats. You know what I'm saying? The bigger the better. I got one of them type of heads. But you can find your boy DJ. Where can they find you at on Instagram? Let them know too. The Instagram.
Instagram is at by_Laraya. BY_LARAYA.
And that's like the primary social media you like to use, or ain't? Okay, that's the one. All right, nice.
By Laraya. Because if it's not by Laraya, who's it by?
That's what I be saying, man. You can find your boy DJ Playboy on X at DJ Playboy. Find me on Instagram at Plickapeezy, PLICCAPEEZY. Follow Perfect Talk on Instagram at Perfect Talk Radio. Go check out my website, www.perfecttalkpodcast.com. For every episode, we got it available right there on YouTube. Go show some love, subscribe, show some top in the comments, do all that. Everything, you know what I'm saying? All that we love that on the algorithm. And go check us out. We're available also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, like I said, YouTube, like I said, right there on our website. So we gave y'all many options. You can't miss us. We out here, you know what I mean? But I like to ask my guests when they come through, is there anything you watching, listening to nowadays? I know last time you said the true crimes. That was your jam. anything new, anything different, or are you still rocking with the true crimes?
Actually, I just finished Rules of Engagement. I know it's a really old show, but I never dove into it back in the day. But Rules of Engagement is actually, it's a comedy, like a sitcom.
Okay.
David Spade, some other people whose names I can't remember. But it's a really funny show, like oddly hilarious. I really
like a
enjoyed
young dating kind of show, right? Like if I'm not mistaken,
more like 30s, 40s type. Yeah, like interestingly, like plays like married type couples or whatever. It's really hilarious though.
Got you. Yeah, I slept on
they
that.
gotta
I
go
slept
back
on that
in.
as well. You know what I mean? I don't think they were reaching for our demographic, but it's surprising what can reach you. You know what I mean? Surprising, right? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You probably never thought you would have gotten the crochet when you know what I'm saying, if you were going to stereotype, and look what you're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
you know what I mean? You can never judge a book by its cover. But like I said, man, spread love is the Brooklyn Ray. Laraya, thank you so much for coming through. And we up out of here. Say goodbye.
Peace, y'all. Thank you.
Peace.